I want to move first to the Kelce brothers and Taylor Swift. Nancy Armour in USA Today wrote a column about just these Kelce brothers. They're the end. They're the cure to toxic masculinity. The Kelces are about the manliest men you can find. They've each lasted more than a decade in the NFL, a league that chews people up in relentless fashion. They are hulking and hairy and make no secret of their love of beer and hijinks. When they show their emotions, it gives permission for other men to do the same. When they're supportive of the women in their lives, it tells boys and young men that demeaning women isn't cool. When they model deep, lasting friendships with other men, it offers an example to men searching for connection. The world has enough men who are jerks, and we're all paying the price for it. Jason and Travis Kelce, they're a reminder. It doesn't have to be that way. The great Nancy Armour. Jason and Travis Kelce, they're the ideal men. They get drunk. Jason Kelce slapped a fan outside of a stadium. Travis Kelce, for years with the Kansas City Chiefs, was known as an idiot and a hothead on the field that would do dumb things on the field. But one interview with Taylor Swift overturns all that. And these are the ideal hairy men that America just needs more of. Steve, your thoughts?
Well, thankfully, that was written or published by USA Today, so chances are nobody read that. I don't think I've read the USA Today since about 2001. I'm being dead serious about that, by the way. But, I mean, isn't this, look, one of the Kelce brothers, I think, is much more of an everyday guy than the other one. You know which one. It's the one that's not dating the pop star. But this goes again that there is this conditioning from the mainstream media about trying to strip away traditional male behavior and masculinity. And again, I'm not so sure this article gained that much traction, to be honest with you. But there is this overt messaging that is taking place in America. And I'll say something that I say a lot. We do not hate the mainstream media enough.
And so, just to be clear, the conversation isn't about how much traction the article gets. It's reflective of a mentality that is pervasive throughout American culture, that men have created a world that is oppressive to everyone. She argues, and we're all paying the price for these toxic men and the world that they built. And Travis and Jason Kelce can fix all that. It's that mentality that bothers me, because let's go here in America. Nancy Armour, at gunpoint, would not leave. At gunpoint and $1 million, $2 million cash offer, would not leave America. Would not. And people are beating down doors, and 40 million people are trying to enter the country illegally. And it's not because American men have built the worst country and the worst society on the planet. It's because they built the best one. And it is being destroyed by women like Nancy Armour, who are ungrateful, unappreciative, and stupid, and think that they should be men. That's what I find fascinating. And to point to the Kelce brothers as some sort of example, because he gushes over a $1 billion pop star that, writes little harmless, catchy tunes or whatever. It's stupid, silly. This woman is way too old to be this stupid, but maybe because she is this old and she's been stupid, she's just stupid. And there was a time when USA Today had a standard and public conversation had a standard that is now all just disappeared. And if you can write some column that pretends, don't you realize white men have destroyed the world? And Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce, they're the antidote. Once we sober these guys up, they're going to fix everything. Miss me with all of it.
Yeah, and I think that's what was the value of a Kevin Samuels and everything that he spawned off, all his disciples. And I say that very respectfully, guys who have continued on with his message. But again, I think in terms of the dissemination of this message, I would say that right now the whole of the whole manosphere or red pill community, I believe, plays to a much bigger and more influential vibe and audience than the USA Today. I mean, USA Today is a newspaper. My God, that's a dying industry. It truly is. The YouTube independent content creator space, I believe, is just infinitely big. So I think there is one advantage for what we're trying to espouse.
Hold for 1 second, though. I hope for 1 second. I think you're making a relevant point that I'll frame it differently. Your argument is the manosphere and the red pill and the alternative media world is winning. And, Nancy Armour and print media and traditional media are losing. Maybe some truth there, but maybe not. Because I'm still, Nancy Armour and her crowd are part of the reason why the NFL bends over and plays the woke game and and so, Steve, where I think your blind spot might be is, working with me and Mario Lopez and the way you have your world set up, you're in that independent space where you really don't have a boss and you're working in cultures and with people that don't play that whole woke game. But I think a lot of men are still trapped in the mainstream ecosystem. And while things are getting better, they're reporting in to DEI bosses and still dealing with people with the Nancy Armour mindset. I think the battle is far more either 50-50 or they are actually still winning.
Well, they might be, but I think it's a much level playing field than it was, let's say, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, there was no YouTube. Think about it. I think the first YouTube video was uploaded in 2004, right? And then in terms of people becoming their own brands and networks, that probably started to begin in the late 2009, 10, 11. And now people have become their own networks. Look, I don't know who's winning. I really don't. I do know this. I know that I individually have a choice as to what I want to listen to, who I want to be influenced by. But you're right, Jason. Those who still work in a corporate space do have overlords. They have guidelines and they have these harsh regulations and they're actually censored on social media. I went through it at ESPN. So that part I do not disagree with you one bit.
Well, and part of what she's reflecting that I think a lot of men are still dealing with, and it's not me and you, but I think a lot of men are still dealing with, the message is, hey, if you don't bend over and kiss these women's butts, if you don't pretend like Taylor Swift or whoever the Taylor Swift is on your job isn't the smartest person in the room and doesn't, got to be uplifted, you're not fit for leadership. And you're not fit for promotion. You're not fit to be a leader in this organization. It's a real issue, and she's just pumping out that, hey, be like Jason and Travis Kelce. Go bend over for these feminists and women, and the world will be right because, man, these men have built a horrendous world, and she's lying. She knows she's lying. It's a delusion. Women are capable of living in delusion for a long, expended, or forever, rather than snapping out of it. Anyway, don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest content.